some of the most powerful occult knowledge in the world, in my opinion, of course. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to ever read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. This is Emerald Tablet number 5. And if you read through it and analyze it and actually come to the conclusion that either this information is from thousands of years ago or it was written by somebody that really knew the future, the past, and the present better than just about anybody. Because I'll tell you, every time I go through the Emerald Tablets, whether it's tablet number 1, tablet number 3, tablet number 5, right now I'm going to share with you tablet number 5. It talks about space travel. It talks about the inner earth. I mean, it's nothing short of extraordinary. It's incredible. So I'm going to get to it in a minute, but one of the things that I find fascinating as well is the discussion of the serpents, tablet number 8, these serpents that hide in the shadows, that work through blood, that work through humans, that work in angles, and how even after this physical presence, you need to stay on your game. Otherwise, these things could pretty easily take over. So the Emerald Tablets. Now, there is an Emerald Tablet that was discovered many years ago. This one's from 1606. Nanu. Emerald Tablet. Now, the question is, where does this information come from? Well, it doesn't really matter because it's right on point at so many levels. So let's read it together and analyze it. And I want to hear what you guys have to say. And first of all, I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are. I hope things are going well for you. Hopefully you're not in California like Santa Rosa or something like that. So, all right, here we go. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Thanks, moderators, for keeping it real. And thanks, Grandma, for this amazing sandwich. All right. Often, I dream of buried Atlantis. Or, I'm not going to read it per verbatim. So if you want to do that, you can absolutely do it. Matter of fact, I would recommend picking up a copy of The Seventh Planet, Mercury Rising, because not only does Gerald Clark have some great information about the human antenna and his interpretation of the Annunaki and their bloodlines and trials and tribulations and his analysis, but it also has the Emerald Tablets of Thoth on paper. So if you don't have access to a computer, you can read them via book. And also, if you use the code Leak Project, you'll get a 10% discount. How cool is that? So I'm just saying, or you can read them for free online. Here we go. Oft, dream I of buried Atlantis, lost in the ages that have passed into night. Hold on a second. Let's go back for a second. What is the name of this tablet? What is the name? Well, it depends. What would you like to call it? The name of the tablet is The Dweller of Unal. Oft, dream I of buried Atlantis, lost in the ages that have passed into night, eon on eon. Thou existed in beauty as shining through the darkness of night. Mighty in power, ruling the earthborn, Lord of the earth in Atlantis day, King of the nations, master of wisdom, light through Suntal, keeper of the way, dwelt in his temple, the master of Unal, light of the earth in Atlantis day. So if we're going back to Atlantis, I mean, we're taking tens of thousands of years off the calendar. We're going way back. Atlantis, I mean, that's probably what, 100,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago. But it's just a conspiracy. Just a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up. Master, he from a cycle beyond us, living in bodies as one among men, not as the earthborn, he from beyond us, son of a cycle, advanced beyond men. Know ye, O man, that Horlet, the master, was never one with the children of men. Far in the past time was Atlantis first grew as a power, appeared there, one with the key of wisdom, showing the way of light to all. Showed he to all men the path of attainment, way of the light that flows among men, mastering darkness, leading the man soul upward to heights that were one with the light. Well, what about the ladies? What about the lady soul? I mean, you're missing something, Thoth. Come on, man. Just saying. Divided the kingdoms, he in the sections 10, were they ruled by children of men. Upon another built he a temple built, but not by the children of men. Out of the ether called, he is its substitute, molded and formed by the power of Yetolan into the forms he built with his mind. Mile upon mile, it covered the island. Space upon space, it grew in its might. Black yet not black, but dark like the space time. Deep in its heart of essence of light, swiftly the temple grew into being, molded and shaped by the word of the dweller, called the formless into a form. So wait until he starts talking about space travel and teleportation devices. Remember, this is, regardless, you can take these tablets back hundreds of years with the records that you have access to now publicly. Whether or not this goes back 100,000 years into the time of Atlantis, that is very easy to debate, because it's kind of hard to go back and get those records. If they do exist, I'm sure somebody has them that's got a lot more money than you and myself, unless you're listening to this podcast and you're the person that has access to these records. And you might be listening to this podcast with access to these ancient tablets, for all I know. I mean, there's some pretty cool people that listen to Leak Project. I'm just saying that if this is from the time of Atlantis, now when you read about the Serpent Archons, Tablet 8, and how they reside in these certain angles, and how they live through the blood and through sacrifice and through man and through people in high places, it describes essentially what we're going through today. And it was written hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, maybe over 100,000 years ago. The question is, who is Thoth? What is Thoth? Good guy, bad guy, shape-shifting reptile from the Draconian Empire that Orion birthed? I don't know. I mean, it's a great question, but certainly I think Thoth has a lot of power, a lot of clout, and the Egyptians thought he was the giver of astronomy, of writing, of magic, of science. Now you can link him to different entities throughout different cultures, like the Aztecs, the Mayans, etc. Hermes Trismus, Hermes Trice. Wait, what? Never mind. Thoth, that one guy. All right, so let's go back. Will you just look at it? All right. Wait a second. Where are we? Look at this. This is the alchemylab.com. This looks very similar to a Masonic Lodge sign outside. They've got one of these in downtown San Antonio. And it also looks a lot like the map of these ancient Sumerians. And then you can see right there, we just look at it. We just look at it. Here we go. Emerald Tablet number 5. So I'm going to get back to, where was I? All right. We just look at it. Master, he from the cycle beyond us, living in bodies as one among men, not as the earthborn, he from beyond us, son of a cycle advanced beyond men. Kind of reminds me of the Jesus archetype, as Jesus describes, some are born of the earth, some are not of the earth. So This is a being that is a master that is not earthborn. Know ye, O man, that Horlet the master was never one with the children of men. Far in the past time, when Atlantis first grew as a power, appeared there one with the key of wisdom, showing the way of light to all. Well, that's definitely a description of Thoth. Showed he to all men the path of attainment, way of the light that flows among men, mastering darkness, leading the man soul upward to heights that were one with the light. Now, let me just make sure that I've got audio that I don't sound like some type of Borg.
You will not assimilate me.
Where are we at? All right. Showed he to all men the path of attainment, way of the light that flows among men, mastering darkness, leading the man soul upward to heights that were one with the light, divided the kingdoms, he into sections. 10 were they, ruled by children of men. Upon another built he a temple, built but not by the children of men. So a temple built by aliens or angels or shape-shifting reptiles or genetically modified non-biological entities that have self-aware consciousness, or out of the ether called he its substance, molded and formed by the power of Yatolan into the forms he built with his mind. How about that? Building it with your mind. Everybody's doing it. Why not you? Mile upon mile, it covered the island. Space upon space, it grew in its might, black yet not black, but dark like the space-time. Deep in its heart, the essence of light, swiftly the temple grew into being, molded and shaped by the word of the dweller, called from the formless into a form. Now, that reminds me of the Kabbalah. That reminds me of manifesting reality via sound, via words, via vibrational frequencies. This is a layman's term, a very easy description, describing how Thoth, this deity, was able to manifest and manipulate reality via words, via manifesting it thought forms. Boom! Abracadabra. 1,000,000 subscribers, leakproject.com. Over 1,000,000 subscribers and counting. Soon. Divided the kingdoms, he into sections. 10 were they, ruled by children of men. Upon another built he a temple, built but not by the children of men. Out of the ether called he its substance, molded and formed by the power of Yatolan into the forms he built with his mind. Mile upon mile, it covered the island. Space upon space, it grew in its might, black yet not black, but dark like the space-time. Deep in its heart, the essence of light. Swiftly, the temple grew into being, molded and shaped by the word of the dweller, called from the formless into a form. Builded he then within it great chambers, filled them from forms called forth from the ether, filled them with wisdom called forth by his mind. So Thoth is literally creating chambers of awesomeness with his mind. He's thinking about it, and boom, it's just like the adept, the one that knows how to create via thought. Let's even take out the Kabbalah. Let's just use your mind, Quaid. Use your mind. If you are a very powerful projector of energy via thought forms, you can manifest your reality. You will manifest your reality. Things will present themselves in front of you that will literally blow your mind. Like Jacob Israel that was on the show the other day. This guy has manifested his reality and even where he lives with the power of his mind in connection with faith and what he believes and the divine. Yet you also have to use your own will In my opinion, you can't just rely on something to do everything for you. Those out there that you just got to have faith, man. That's it. That's all you got to do. Well, if you're one of the lucky ones, if that's all you need is faith, hey, right on. More power to you. Many people, I feel, including myself, you need to have faith and you need to use your will and also be a part of what you want to create. You can't just ask for it. You also have to act upon it. That's my opinion. So let's get back to where we were here. Where were we, actually? Hey, you guys come here often. All right. Showed he to all men the path of attainment, a way of the light that flows among men, mastering darkness, leading the man soul upward to heights that were one with the light. Okay, we already read that. Where are we at? Builded he then within it great chambers. Yep, we already read that. Formless, read that. Chose he then from among the people 3 who became his gateway. Oh, there you got the triad. You've got the Trinity, the 3 who became his gateway. Isn't that interesting that even in Christian religion, the Trinity is involved? The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. The only way to the Father is through the Son. The Son could be the Son with a O, not a U, if you look at it via astronomical terms. Maybe the sun is some type of stargate, and when you pass to the other side, to the next level, if you focus through the sun, maybe that's some type of stargate. If you have the opportunity, if you've ever had an out-of-body experience, you know that you can leave this earth and you can travel the stars and the planets. You can travel even into higher realms, which are like basically geometrical patterns is the best way to describe it. You'll see these colors and patterns. Imagine geometry in 3D form. That's pretty much what it's like. One of the levels anyway, but I digress. So let's go back to where we were. Chose he then from among the people 3 who became his gateway. Chose he the 3 from the highest to become his links with Atlantis, messengers they who carried his counsel to the kings of the children of men. Brought he forth others and taught them wisdom, teachers they to the children of men. Placed he them on the island of Undal to stand as teachers of light to men. Each of those who were thus chosen taught must be for years 5 and 10. Only thus could he have understanding to being light to the children of men. Thus there came into being the temple, a dwelling place for the master of man. Thoth, Toth, have ever sought wisdom, searching in darkness and searching in light. Long in my youth I traveled the pathway, seeking ever new knowledge to gain, until after such striving, one of the 3 to me brought the light. Brought he to me the commanders of the dweller, called me from darkness into the light. Brought he me before the dweller deep in the temple, before the great fire. There on the great throne beheld I the dweller, clothed with the light and flashing with fire. Down I knelt before the great wisdom, feeling the light flowing through me in waves. Heard I then the voice of the dweller, O darkness, come into the light. Long have ye sought the pathway to the light. Each soul on earth that loosens its fetters shall soon be made free from the bondage of night. Forth from the darkness have ye arisen, closer approached the light of your goal. Here ye shall dwell as one of my children, keeper of records gathered by wisdom, instrument thou of the light from beyond. Ready be thou made to do what is needed. Perseverer of wisdom through the ages of darkness that shall come fast on the children of men. Live thee here and drink, oh, of all wisdom, secrets and mysteries unto thee shall unveil. So, will you just look at it? What does that mean? Well, I don't know. What do you think it means? I think it's pretty cool. It's talking about secrets and discoveries, and one that went through the darkness, and iron sharpens iron. Thoth came through that level of density, of that vibrational frequency, overcame it, just like Inanna, Istar, overcame the netherworld, gathered information. Not only did she conquer the heavens and earth, but she also went to the netherworld and obtained powers and then came back from the netherworld. I'll tell you, if Inanna is linked to Venus, which several people have discussed how Inanna is linked to the planet Venus, you know that even in the New Testament, Venus is described as the, Lucifer, the light bearer. Is Inanna Lucifer? Maybe not Enki. I don't know. As somebody threw a curveball out at me the other day, actually yesterday, and that is some more research I'm going to do. Is Lucifer Inanna, Ishtar, Easter? And if you worship Easter as the resurrection of the Christ, well, it's actually the resurrection of Inanna, Easter, and the sacrifice of Dumazid, which is most likely Jesus, the great shepherd. So anyway, I divagate. So where was I? Well, I don't know. Let's find out. Let me go back to, here we go. There on the great throne beheld I the dweller, clothed with the light and flashing with fire. Down I knelt before the great wisdom, filling the light, flowing through me in waves. Heard I then the voice of the dweller, O darkness, come into the light. Long have ye sought the pathway to the light. Each soul on earth that loosens its fetters shall soon be made free from the bondage of night. Forth from the darkness have ye arisen. Closer approach the light of your goal. Here ye shall dwell as one of my children, keeper of records gathered by wisdom, instrument thou of the light from beyond. Ready be thou made to do what is needed. Perseverer of wisdom through the ages of darkness that shall come fast on the children of men. Live thee here and drink of all wisdom. Secrets and mysteries unto thee shall unveil. You know what that makes me think of? That makes me think of DNA and how some people can actually just, information just comes to them. They just know things and they shouldn't know it, but they do. Is it because they're unlocking certain parts of the DNA? Are certain people just encoded with this information? Does the blood that flows through your veins actually transfer information? Is that one of the reasons that blood is so valuable in certain rituals? Blood is one of the most powerful mediums in various magical practices that are connected to all sorts of different industries. So we'll talk about that at another podcast. Then answered I, the master of cycles, saying, O light that descended to men, give thou to me of thy wisdom, that I might be a teacher of men. Give thou of thy light, that I may be free. Spoke then to me again the master, age after age shall ye live through your wisdom. When o'er Atlantis the ocean waves roll, holding the light through hidden in darkness, though hidden in darkness, ready to come. When, Euro, thou shalt call, go thee now, and learn greater wisdom. Grow thou through light to infinity's all. Long then dwelt I in the temple of the dweller, until at last I was one with the light. One with the light. That's interesting. Do you guys want to be one with the light? What does that actually mean? Sounds kind of scary and exciting at the same time. Followed I then the path to the star plains. Followed I then the pathway to light. Deep into Earth's heart, I followed the pathway. This is where it gets interesting. And it makes me think of the netherworld that's described in these Sumerian tablets, the underworld that Inanna, Dumazid, and Enkidu travel to obtain wisdom, obtain powers, and then ascend back into the earthly realm. They're not supposed to come back, but they do. They obtain certain powers as well. It's very interesting, to say the least. Now, as I look back through the ages, Hold on a second. I skipped a couple lines here. Followed I then the path to the star plains. Followed I then the pathway to light. Deep into Earth's heart, I followed the pathway, learning the secrets below as above, learning the pathway to the halls of Amenti, learning the law that balances the world to Earth's hidden chambers, pierced I by my wisdom deep through the Earth's crust into the pathway hidden for ages from the children of men unveiled before me. Even more wisdom until I reached a new knowledge, found that all is part of an all, great and yet greater than all that we know. Searched I infinity's heart through the ages, deep and yet deeper, more mysteries I found. Literally going to a inner earth location and accessing records of unprecedented information and history and knowledge, true knowledge and data. That's incredible. It's incredible. We just look at it. Now, as I look back through the ages, know I that wisdom is boundless, ever grown, greater throughout the ages, one with infinities greater than all, infinities greater than all. Light there was in ancient Atlantis. Yes, darkness too was hidden in all. Fell from the light into the darkness some who had risen to heights among men. Proud they became because of their knowledge. Proud were they of their place among men. Deep dived they into the forbidden, opened the gateway that led to below. Sought they to gain ever more knowledge, but seeking to bring it up from below. Once again, that makes me think of the serpent archons that you don't see with the physical eyes that literally latch on to people of high positions and take control of them through the blood sacrifice. It feeds them. He who descends below must have balance, else he is bound by lack of our light. Opened they then by their knowledge, pathways forbidden to man. But in his temple, all seen, the dweller lay in his Aguanti, which through Atlantis his soul roamed free. Saw he the Atlanteans by their magic opening the gateway that would bring to earth a great woe. Fast fled his soul then back to his body. Up he arose from his Aguanti, called he the three mighty messengers. Hermes, Trice, Magistus gave the commands that shattered the world. Deep neath earth's crust to the halls of Menti swiftly descended the dweller, called he. Then on the powers of the seven lords, willed it, changed the earth's balance, down sank Atlantis beneath the dark waves. That's interesting. So by calling upon these seven lords, it changed the earth's balance, causing Atlantis to sink beneath dark waves, then shattered the gateway that had been opened, shattered the doorway that led down below. All of the islands were shattered except Unal, and part of the island of the sons of the dweller preserved he them to be the teachers. Lights of the path for those to come after, lights for the lesser children of man. Called he then, I, Thoth, Toth, before him, gave me commands for all I should do, saying, take thou, O Thoth, Toth, all of your wisdom, take all your records, take all your magic, go thou forth preserving the records until in time light grows among men. Light shall thou be all thou through the ages, hidden yet found by enlightened men over all earth. Give we ye power, free thou to give or take it away. Gather thou now the sons of Atlantis, take them and flee to the people of the rock caves. Fly to the land of the children of Chem. Fly, huh? Interesting. So I didn't know that they could fly thousands of years ago, but I mean, I guess so. Then, according to these tablets, that makes you think, what aren't we being told about history? That would make more sense about the creation of the pyramids, Göbekli Tepe, many of these incredible structures that we can't describe. Oh, yeah, slaves built them. Yep. Yeah, that's right. And then they brought them back with horses and donkeys and camels. It's pretty cool, man. Yep, that 50-ton stone right there. Donkeys did it. There, donkey. All right, I'm just saying. Then gathered I the sons of Atlantis into the spaceship. Wait a second. Did you just say spaceship? Yes, that's right. I'll take spaceship for $1,000, Pat. Then gathered I the sons of Atlantis into the spaceship. I brought all my records, brought the records of sunken Atlantis, gathered I all of their powers, all of my powers, instruments, many of mighty magic. Spaceship. Up then we rose on wings of the morning. High we arose above the temple, leaving behind the three indweller deep in the halls neath the temple, down neath the waves sank the great temple, closing the pathway to the lords of the cycles, yet ever to him who has knowing open shall be the path to Amenti. Fast fled we then on the wings of the morning, fled to the land of the children of Chem. There by my power I conquered and ruled them, raised I to light the children of Chem. Deep neath the rocks I buried my spaceship, waiting the time when man might be free. Over the spaceship erected a marker in the form of a lion, yet like unto man. There neath the image rests yet my spaceship, forth to be brought when need shall arise. Know ye, O man, that far in the future invaders shall come from out of the deep. Then awake, ye who have wisdom. Bring forth my ship and conquer with ease. Deep neath the image lies my secret. Search and find the pyramid I built. Each to the other is the keystone, each the gateway that leads into life. Follow the key I leave behind me. Seek, and the doorway to life shall be thine. Seek thou in my pyramid, deep in the passage that ends in a wall. Use thou the key of the seven, and open to thee the pathway will fall. Now unto thee I have given my wisdom. Now unto thee I have given my way. Follow the pathway. Solve thou my secrets. Unto thee I have shown the way. All right. Well, here's what I have to say about that. First of all, spaceship, made it very clear it was a spaceship underneath the Sphinx in Egypt. Made it very clear that Thoth built the pyramid, at least according to this teaching. He was the architect. Now, of course, I would assume, I'm sure you would think this as well, that the powers that be have found a way to uncover this spaceship, if there is one underneath the Sphinx. It's already been uncovered. It's already been discovered. And they are most likely have already found a way to reverse engineer it or to take technologies from it for their own purposes. And wow, could you imagine how cool it would be to discover a spaceship underneath a pyramid? Be like, wow, look what I found. Yeah, that would change things a bit. That would definitely alter things just a bit. But I got to tell you, the spaceship description, the location, the information, there's a lot there. What do you guys think is underneath the Cheops pyramid or the Sphinx? And how about the giant face on Mars in Sedonia, not Sedona, Arizona, but Sedonia, Mars? If you look at the anomalies that are very close in proximity to the Sphinx face or the face on Mars, or what looks like a face on Mars, you'll see pyramids. You'll be able to also connect the sacred geometry of the Fibonacci sequence and start it in the central point of the face of the Sedonia area on Mars. And if you use the Fibonacci sequence, you'll be able to link it up to the structures that are west of the face anomaly that look like pyramids. It appears to me that this image from the 1976 Viking orbiter satellite picked up an ancient civilization, ruins from an ancient civilization that parallel much of what is in Egypt. Now, if you've seen the film Stargate with Kurt Russell, the original from the early 90s, mid 90s, that's probably about as close as it gets to the archetypes of the pyramids of Egypt. I'd recommend watching that. You know, it's also interesting as well. I want to do more research into some of these discoveries of tablets and rocks and fossil remains and footprints that are fossilized next to dinosaur prints. What if there is a dinosaur race that might be considered the dragon race that the Chinese and many other cultures have said they derived from the dragon people, or the dragons as well, dragons to the dragon people? What if there's more to it than that? And the hollow earth, the central earth possibility doesn't mean the earth is completely hollow, but what if there is a civilization in the center of the planet? And what if there is a lot of power and energy and control from the central earth that actually influences people above ground, you know, like people like you, like me, like others that listen to Leak Project? Fortunately for us, you know, we can ask questions and still not be assimilated to this Borg mindset where we believe everything that is force fed to us via mainstream brain drain news. So once again, if you are interested in reading the Emerald Tablets, you know, you can just find a free PDF online. You can also pick up the book called The Seventh Planet, Mercury Rising by Gerald Clark. Not only is this a great book with a lot of information about the ancient Mesopotamian tablets, the Annunaki, the bloodlines, etc., the human antenna, the importance of certain, I don't know, what's a good way to put it? You know, the way that you walk, the way that you sit, your body, having a healthy body is so important to be not only, you know, physically, but spiritually healthy as well, especially when you look into the human antenna that's described in the book, The Seventh Planet, Mercury Rising. Use the code Leak Project. Go to GeraldClark77.com. Use the code Leak Project. You'll get a 10% discount. And yeah, there you go. That's my shameless plug. I don't know. Most of you guys might have already read The Seventh Planet. Great book by Gerald Clark. I need to get him back on the show. He has been very busy with his work and doing, I think he's wanting to make a movie. So he's doing a lot of stuff with CGI. Anything that you guys feel is important, make sure to send me an email. I need to update my email on my website, leakproject@gmail.com. If you have a groundbreaking story, information. Also, if you go to leakproject.com, you'll get access to exclusive content, over 1,300 podcasts. Over 100 podcasts are exclusive to leakproject.com, downloadable, streamable, ad-free. Let me see if I have anything else here to share with you guys. Well, I'm looking at the Adam and Eve story right now, the Adam and Eve story by Chan Thomas. I've got an autographed copy. Hello, from 1972. Good luck even finding one of these right now. The original. What do you guys think about the possibility of a reset? Like a natural reset every X amount of years that happens from a internal combustion from gray matter leaving the actual core of the earth, if there is a magma core. It's interesting that certain alphabet agencies actually took this work and put it in their secret files, and then recently I found this through the FOIA. If you go to their website, they've got a vault section. It's interesting, though, because you can actually find these books, the PDF online, if you're lucky, or you might be able to find a copy somewhere, but I haven't been able to recently. So there you have it. Have a beautiful day. Be excellent to each other. Question everything. The radiation levels have been hanging out around 0.1 microsieverts per hour. I will shortly be, hopefully sooner than later, getting a new EMF detector that picks up high frequencies up to, I think, 11 gigahertz. So I can pick up some of that 3G, 4G cell phone tower love that they share with the world. Now, with that said, I will be able to pick up some of the lower 5G stuff, but there's going to be higher 5G bands hanging out around the 30 to 50 gigahertz range, which now you're up into microwave level. You're into directed energy weapons capabilities with that high level of frequency. But you know what? It's not going to hurt us. It's good for us because they say it is. And I mean, people don't care because they can download stuff even faster now because I guess 4G isn't good enough. So there you have it. Question everything. Be excellent to each other. LeakProject.com. Some of the most powerful occult knowledge in the world, in my opinion, of course. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to ever read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. This is Emerald Tablet number 5. And if you read through it and analyze it and actually come to the conclusion that either this information is from thousands of years ago or it was written by somebody that really knew the future, the past, and the present better than just about anybody. Because I'll tell you, every time I go through the Emerald Tablets, whether it's tablet number 1, tablet number 3, tablet of the nations, master of wisdom, light through Suntal, keeper of the way, dwelt in his temple, the master of Unal, light of the earth in Atlantis day. So if we're going back to Atlantis, I mean, we're taking tens of thousands of years off the calendar. We're going way back. Atlantis, I mean, that's probably what, 100,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago. But it's just a conspiracy. Just a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up. Master, he from a cycle beyond us, living in bodies as one among men, not as the earthborn, he from beyond us, son of a cycle, advanced beyond men. Know ye, O man, that Horlet the master was never one with the children of men. Far in the past time was Atlantis first grew, and his analysis, but it also has the Emerald Tablets of Thoth on paper. So if you don't have access to a computer, you can read them via book. And also, if you use the code Leak Project, you'll get a 10% discount. How cool is that? So I'm just saying, or you can read them for free online. Here we go. Oft, dream I of buried Atlantis, lost in the ages that have passed into night. Hold on a second. Let's go back for a second. What is the name of this tablet? What is the name? Well, it depends. What would you like to call it? The name of the tablet is The Dweller of Unal. Oft, dream I of buried Atlantis, lost in the ages that have passed into night, eon on eon. Thou existed in beauty as shining through the darkness of night. Mighty in power, ruling the earthborn, lord of the earth in Atlantis day, king come from. Well, it doesn't really matter because it's right on point at so many levels. So let's read it together and analyze it. And I want to hear what you guys have to say. And first of all, I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are. I hope things are going well for you. Hopefully you're not in California like Santa Rosa or something like that. So, all right, here we go. Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks moderators for keeping it real. And thanks Grandma for this amazing sandwich. All right. Often I dream of buried Atlantis. Or, I'm not going to read it per verbatim. So if you want to do that, you can absolutely do it. Matter of fact, I would recommend picking up a copy of The Seventh Planet, Mercury Rising, because not only does Gerald Clark have some great information about the human antenna and his interpretation of the Annunaki and their bloodlines and trials and tribulation. Number 5. Right now, I'm going to share with you tablet number 5. It talks about space travel. It talks about the inner Earth. I mean, it's nothing short of extraordinary. It's incredible. So I'm going to get to it in a minute. But one of the things that I find fascinating as well is the discussion of the serpents, tablet number 8. These serpents that hide in the shadows, that work through blood, that work through humans, that work in angles, and how even after this physical presence, you need to stay on your game. Otherwise, these things could pretty easily take over. So the emerald tablets. Now, there is an emerald tablet that was discovered many years ago. This one's from 1606. Nanu. Emerald tablet. Now, the question is, where does this information